Opening statements get underway in a few hours in the manslaughter trial of Daniel Penny, the defense team suffering a setback following a last-minute ruling from the judge issued just yesterday.
So Penny, a former Marine, is charged in the chokehold death of Subway performer Jordan Neely. So joining us this morning is attorney Bernarda Villalona, who has been following the case and will be in the courtroom later this morning. So good morning to you. Thanks for stopping by before you head downtown. So first, let's talk about the judge's ruling yesterday involving the jury, correct?
Yes. So I'm not surprised. First off, a jury has already been selected. So this jury is going to be an anonymous jury, where it means that the defense attorney as well as the prosecution is not going to be able to disclose the name of the jurors to the public. But that's for their own safety and to prevent any type of jury tampering during this trial, especially since we expect that the trial is going to be over 4 weeks long.
Does either side benefit from that?
I think they both benefit in the sense of that you prevent any type of jury tampering. You have to think that this is an explosive case where it divided the city. So you have those threats with any jury trial, but one where it's such a high publicity case.
Moving on to opening statements, you have experience as a prosecutor and defense attorney. So sort of give us the rundown of what you expect opening statements to be like. Let's start with the defense.
So opening statements are key. This is the first time that both sides get to address the entire jury. So they get to present what they believe the case will show. So for the defense is going to try to poke holes into the prosecution's case, but not try to argue the case, because it's opening statements and not closing arguments. But the defense is going to focus that, look, they were inside of an enclosed car. There was nowhere for anyone to go. Like, Daniel Penny is a hero. He tried to protect those other subway riders, because in the end, he's setting it up that Daniel was actually justified in the sense of protecting the other people that were on that train.
And on the flip side, for prosecutors?
On the flip side, the prosecution is going to focus that Daniel took it too far. Daniel Penny took it too far. He put his arms around the neck of Jordan Neely and remained there on the neck of Jordan Neely for over 4 minutes, which was extreme, especially since Jordan Neely was unarmed at the time. And also that Daniel Penny, as well as other people, they were able to retreat. They could have gone to the back of the train. They could have exited the train. So it was uncalled for and unjustified.
But do you think that the prosecutors kind of have an upper hand, though, because they can prove that Jordan was not armed?
Yes, so that is huge, and that's a key issue that the defense has, because Jordan Neely was not armed. He had no weapons. Was he making threats? Yes, possible, but guess what? This is New York. We ride the train. So you're aware that there are mentally disturbed people. The question is whether he would have acted on it, and if he was going to act on it, would it have been deadly physical force that would have required any type of deadly physical response?
Daniel Penny being a Marine veteran, what kind of role does that play in this case?
Well, one, it changes the narrative in the sense that the defense has been selling this narrative that he is a hero, that he is a good Samaritan, like he was in the military, he is a Marine. So he was actually in his nature to try to protect others. So the defense is going to use it in their favor. But the prosecution is going to use his own training to show that he should have known that applying pressure on the neck of Jordan Neely for that amount of time could have caused his death.
Now, you had mentioned, you were talking about the well, not necessarily the jurors, but just the fact that as New Yorkers, we're kind of used to seeing that there are folks that have mental health issues that are riding along on the train with us. Do you know if any of the jurors are subway riders? Do we know any kind of information like that? And how do you think that that might benefit either side?
So all 12 jurors that have been selected, plus the alternates, did state during their questioning that they have ridden the subway before, the New York City subway before. So no one is exempt from the New York subway experience. But what's interesting about this case is that as New Yorkers and everyone who's ridden the subway, every time that those jurors are on the train now, they're going to be thinking about this case and thinking about, well, looking at the doors, what would I have done? How do I feel? Was Daniel Penny justified? Would I have wanted someone to come protect me? Or are we used to this type of behavior? Are we used to someone like Jordan Neely being on the train? I mean, you see homeless people sleeping on the cars. You see people asking for money or selling candy. But that's not enough to say that I'm going to use deadly physical force to take someone out.
But on the other side of that, there might also be a subway rider that might might say, well, I've been in a situation where someone very frightening is on the train and I would want someone to protect me.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's the issue that you encounter. I think the city is very divided when we're dealing with this particular case, because a lot of people want to look at it as the case of Bernie Getz. Remember, Bernie Getz was the one who used a gun and fired at four teens because he believed he was in fear for his life. We're not there. We're not there. But times have changed. Times have changed. And some things when we're talking about people with mental health and people on the train that may be arguing, may be screaming, it's not enough to call for someone to use deadly physical force. Are you frightened? Are you nervous? Yeah, but not to the point where you're going to take such an extreme.
But what about Penny's stance of saying he didn't think it was going that far? He thought he was just subduing him.
But that's how his training is going to be used against him. And the defense is going to call use of force experts to explain to this jury about the use of force that was actually used. One thing that is clear, though, that while you see in the video that he put his arm around the neck of Jordan Neely, you do not know what pressure was applied. But that's why the medical examiner's testimony is going to be so crucial in this case, because they'll be able to explain what type of damage was caused. And remember, the defense is also going to try to argue that, look, Jordan Neely didn't die because he was choked to death. He died because he was under the influence of narcotics.
Interesting. Bernarda, I know you're headed downtown to be in the courtroom, so we appreciate your time. Just real quickly, though, any idea how long this trial may last?
I think definitely about 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks.